Awesome. Are we rolling yet, babe?
For the last 10 minutes.
Oh, beautiful. Hey guys, hope you guys enjoyed. What are you doing?
I didn't know we were going. I was like,
Wait, hold on. Beautiful. Aidan
Hi.
with Black Label Bartending. Thank you so much for saying yes to coming out and chatting with Mao and I. Well, Mao's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I know, like, before we get into all the personal stuff, a little
Mhm.
more about like how Black Label came to be, I kind of want to touch a little bit on the misconceptions that maybe you see couples
Mhm.
coming to you with. Who reaches out to you mostly? Brides?
The brides normally reach out to me the
Nice.
most. I recently this year it's been a lot of like wedding coordinators doing
Sweet.
some of the, preempting of
Yeah.
all that. But I would say 95% is brides.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. And what are those misconceptions maybe that you would love to clarify, or maybe,
Yeah.
get out there so that people understand, like, hey, these are the differences between these services and what comes with.
Yeah, I think the biggest misconception, especially with being in bartending and industry, is that we provide the liquor for clients.
Okay.
So, state of California, very strict on how that goes about. So, what we do and what I offer is a shopping list for the client. So we work together and we create you a menu, whatever that menu entails. So, however many cocktails we decide on, cocktails, whatever drinks you want to offer, some recommendations, and then a service I offer as well is while you're shopping, I give you a live chat support. So either myself or a member of my bar team will have access to you 24/7 while you're shopping. So you just kind of let us know when. So we're guiding you through it. But we can't provide liquor for the bar, but we can shop for the client for the liquor.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's still kind of something that you can take care of.
Yeah, the
in the end,
biggest,
right?
yeah. So it's like we can't do cash for drinks. Like I can't be vodka soda and that'll be $10 behind the bar because then we're
You can't be
selling.
exchanging
Right.
money.
We can't have a cash bar, basically,
Okay.
is how they word it.
Okay.
So I can't do that behind the bar. But if the client is or if the liquor's purchased beforehand, then we're just a service. We're providing the drink, if that makes sense.
Okay. And so, like, I've always wondered, like, obviously you have to have a guest count, right, to be
Mhm.
able to provide like the adequate amount of drinks.
Right.
And how do you determine that? Because, like, if I have a 250 guest wedding and I know that maybe half of them are drinkers, is that something that you would take into
Yeah.
consideration, or how do you like coach?
Yeah. So I mean, this at the end of the day, I'm really just estimating,
Good.
But what I sit down and I talk about with my clients, and I was like, okay, out of they know their crowd best. They know their friends. They know their family. Just it's best to be upfront and honest with us of who's going to drink and how much are they drinking, and we kind of go off of that basis of that. But I try to make sure we have plenty of options. So where if I do run out of something, it's not the end of the world. Maybe they switch to something else. At the end of the day, it's an open bar. It's free booze no matter which way you do it. So 95% of the time, the clients are going to be happy with whatever is put in front of them. But at the end of the day, we are just kind of estimating and using an educational guess of
Perfect.
how much we're going to use of each one.
How about eyes? I always hear eyes is sometimes like one of those things that
Ice.
Are you hot?
Yeah. Ice is the biggest crutch in our business. It is the vein of my existence of being in the industry, It's just really hard to estimate, and not every venue has a full service kitchen or a full service freezer.
That is so
things
true.
like that.
Like, especially in our like summertime weather,
Mhm.
like that will melt in like an hour.
2
it's gone.
seconds. Yeah. And everyone, so there's a really amazing company that I work with all the time now, Bakersfield Ice, and they provide you with a freezer that have floated with ice for an
Really?
additional cost. So like the clients, so that fee includes the ice. So if you use all of it or whatever, it's yours at the end of the night, but they provide you with an actual deep freezer that keeps it cold. So we're not lugging 1,000 ice chests, things like that, and my ice is staying frozen. It's a deep freeze. So
Gosh, good to know.
it's the best.
And it's a lot of little things, right? That people, I mean, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like I do so many intakes with clients and they're like, how much ice do we need or how many ice chests do we provide? And I was like, honestly, it's a little bit more than if you bought ice at Costco. But when I don't have a deep freezer or a facility that has an ice maker, I'm Instacarting halfway through the wedding because we're running out of ice because it's melting and it's just, ice chests can only do so much.
And if your wedding is like out of the town a little bit, we have
Oh,
this
yeah.
Oscars wedding. Oh, That can take
There's
you out a whole hour
there's a few venues in town where
easily.
I know it's like, okay, like I have this much
You
ice. I
can't
think
run
I'm gonna
out
run
at all.
out. It's gonna take an hour to get here. I need to make sure that it's because without ice, how do you have a cocktails?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
You'd be like, well, you guys are having coffee.
yeah, you guys are having hot or just warm drinks. Everyone's drinking something neat. So
Warm teas today.
yeah,
Yep, for every guest.
yeah.
You're so personable,
Oh,
Aiden.
thank
Thank you for
you.
coming. But let us like walk us through like what it was to start off black labeling.
Okay. So I have worked in the service industry for since I was 16, so it's been years now. And I've worked every position there you can imagine in a restaurant. And when I started bartending, a lot of my clients were like, hey, like I'm having this holiday party or birthday or an event. They were
Mm-hmm,
having an event.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
they were like, can you come and bartend? And I was like, sure. It was a flat fee, very, very minimal. I provided nothing. I just showed up and free poured from Kirkland bottles into red solo cups. And I was just, there with the clients having the best time.
Absolutely.
And then the brand kind of came about when my best friend was getting married and she couldn't find a licensed and insured bartender for her venue. And the two bartenders that her venue worked with were already booked. And I was already doing like private events bartending, for a few of my,
Mm-hmm.
regulars, clients. And so then I was like, okay, well, like how much, what does it actually take to get license and insurance for a business? Like, how do I do it? I spent 10 minutes maybe Google searching. I've registered it as like a simple DBA business. And one of my other good clients from the restaurant industry was an insurance agent. I went to her and I was like, hey, I need insurance. She was like, we could do it per event, or we could do it monthly billed, whatever. And so that's kind of how that started. And then the Black Label brand, I did a lot of market research and I was trying to figure out what's lacking in the mobile bartending, field. And it was the elegance and class that I thought was kind of missing. I was going for more of a high-end craft cocktail experience. My background experience is in higher
Mm-hmm.
end finer dining. And so I really wanted to kind of bring that vibe
I love it.
to the mobile bar scene. And I just think weddings are the biggest day. And so you want to make sure that all of your vendors are professional, personable, and have all the things.
Absolutely.
So that I was like, I can do that brand.
Mm-hmm.
I can go get this, $100 a month insurance and, I do two events and I've more than paid for it. So
Beautiful. So how many years now?
if we're going on the state of California, when the business established, 3 years, but I've
3
been doing
years.
Black Label for about 4 years.
Nice. And how many weddings do you take a year?
Oh gosh. It's so different every year. So my first year, it was a chaos. I don't know how we got through, and I don't know how I retained clients afterwards because I was barely hanging on by a thread. I mean, I really didn't have the infrastructure for what I was booking. And then last year, I think I did maybe 60 to 70 events. This year, I have 145 events booked.
Wow. Okay.
So, I mean, it just
And
has
I
been
imagine,
growing.
obviously, you have like other employees.
I have to, yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's because, I mean, realistically, weddings are so seasonal, so there's the spring and then really here it's kind of like the fall weddings.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only 4 Saturdays a month, which is, the most popular day for weddings. So
Yeah.
I now have just grown my team to, I guess with me, 11 of us. So there's 10
Oh,
girls that work under
how
me.
many weddings can you take on in a day?
My
Your
goal is like 3 weddings a day. I have a few dates in fall that I'm pushing 5, and I think that's like the max I can handle in a day.
for your mental
Yeah,
health
for my
too,
mental health
I'm
and
sure.
for the girls,
And for like good service, essentially.
Oh,
We all
100%.
have like that cap that we're like, I would love to say yes, but I would be doing such a disservice
I know.
to everyone else who's like booked me because like you have to be at some mental capacity.
I'm so thankful this year that I was
Mhm.
able to cut off some, like I was like, hey, like I can't take any more of this date. Like that was like
It's a good
it was
problem to have.
it was a good problem
sucks.
to have. Did I feel bad because turning away people? I always am, a little disappointed. But
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like my business is doing so well. Like I had six huge weddings in one day, and I was like, I messaged all the girls when I realized it, and I was like, no one is allowed to take a day off on this weekend. Like all hands on deck.
Oh wow, that's impressive. I
Mhm.
know like this like little interview is heavily focused on just giving couples
Yeah.
a lot of useful information.
hmm
Can you maybe give the viewers like some questions to ask that might be useful to them when they are interviewing for a mobile bar service?
Yeah, I would say in order to get your questions geared towards your specific bartender, you have to really understand what your venue requires from your
Mm,
vendors, but specifically your
it's
bartenders.
great to know.
Do they need to be licensed? Do they need to be insured? If, one thing I found out was, we can't have 1099 employees because they don't operate under the business insurance. So they have to be a W 2
Wow.
employee to use my insurance. And so there's a few wedding venues in town that wouldn't let my girls work there because I had them at 1099 last year. Now they're W 2'd, but I mean, I don't think that's obviously a common question, but you just kind of have to know how strict your venue is
Yeah, because a
with
lot
it.
of times it's so true. A lot of the moving parts or a lot of the outside vendors are very at the mercy almost sometimes what the venue, allows
Yeah,
or what the venue requires, especially because, they are also, I understand, making sure that, they're protected as well.
yeah. But we don't see your venue contract, that's between you
Yeah,
and your vendor. So I mean,
yeah,
like when you book your venue, like
so
you
true.
have to read over your contract to let us know what you need. For questions for us as a bartender would be the most common one is people ask, well, what drinks do you offer? That always stumps me a little bit because I was like, what do you mean, what drinks do I offer? I offer anything under the sun. If there's a drink that you like to drink, as long as you can provide me a recipe, I can recreate it for you.
Yeah,
Like, because bartending, it's just following a recipe. It's like cooking or baking, as long as I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
have a recipe, I can make it for you. So I never tell clients what they can and can't have, unless usually it's a blender and it's like a 500-person event and everything's blended. I'm like, that'll really bog down your lines,
Yeah, yeah. There's
Um,
always little things I'm sure that are beyond just the making of the drinks.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just like logistics wise. I mean, I've done it. I will do it 100%. Like I
Mm-hmm.
really don't have a preference, I would say, but I would just, I warn clients like, hey, like this will bog down your lines, or this is going to be noisy the whole time during your ceremony and reception and toasts and everything like that. Like things to think about.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that you're bringing up so many things that initially you'd be like, I just want drinks at my wedding.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest tip, I guess, for them would be to book your bartender early. Like it's shocked me how many people put us off until like a month out before their wedding. And I was like, you have your wedding, you have your venue, you have your photographer, you have food, DJ, and bartender. Like I don't like that. Those are your key factors. Like when
Yeah.
the bar closes down, the party goes home. I would say for the most
Yeah, yeah.
part.
It's so true. And it's true with us that we know that like an open bar means like a really lively
Yeah.
dance floor. It sucks to say that.
Yeah, but it's
We do not
true.
encourage everyone to go have a drink and able to do that. But generally, I mean, that's just the way it happens sometimes. People loosen up a little more. Our interviews get a little funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it happens. I know that with shifting like times, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've noticed a shifting tide in like our couples just
Hmm.
because it's a whole new generation getting
Yeah.
married. Have you noticed any shifts? I know you've been around for 3 years, but have you noticed any shifts in these last 3 years
In
with
regard
the
to like
market?
with market as in like, going up and down or things or
More
what?
like couples coming into you, like the things that they are asking for, or just
Hmm.
maybe trends that you see
Trend.
popping off.
I mean, one big thing I've been asked a lot this year is champagne towers. So like where they stack the glasses and then they
Hmm.
pour the champagne over. I said that's a big trend. My favorite trend is when they incorporate their like dogs or family members into like their
That's
drink
fun.
menu.
Yeah, yeah.
I've had a few clients where they've sent me pictures of their dogs and put them on their bar menu, which I just think is so fun and cute as an animal lover. I'm like, that's so
So
sweet.
that is sweet because yeah,
Um,
most of the time donkeys don't make it to the
they don't
reception.
know, and like that's their first child in a way,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
I love that. I think that that's super sweet and cute.
What other things do you like know that are in your like toolbox? You're like, man, I wish more couples like would utilize this or offer this.
I would like clients to kind of get a little bit more creative, I think, with their drinks. Like I can make a lot of different cocktails, and I feel like I was sending out a lot of menus that were margaritas, lemon drops, kamikazes, things like that are kind of simple that you could get at any restaurant.
Hmm.
But one of my questions on my questionnaire form is, what are your 5 favorite flavors of anything? It could
Yeah,
be sweet, bitter, tart, whatever. And a lot of the times I create a drink that when we test it, it's part of one of our services is, cocktail tasting before.
that's
And
fun.
so they get to sample a few different of their flavors. So I wish clients would maybe get a little bit more creative or just tell me, hey, like, I don't really know, or I only
Hmm.
drink, vodka soda. Like what would be a, you know, what do you want to make?
Yeah,
You know, I guess
absolutely.
in a way. But
Do you see any trends that might not be so practical that you're like, oh, I know I could tell you one, and I don't know
Okay.
if bartending has anything to do with this, or I'm not sure, but it's those champagne, not towers, but they're like when you arrive to a ceremony
they ding the
and they're
bell.
already there. And a lot of times, the very few times that I've seen it, like I've heard guests say, it's flat or
Yeah.
it's hot.
Okay, I guess I didn't even think about that one, but because usually I'm not the one setting up the champagne tower because you have to set it up for arrival, and
Mhm.
usually, at least with us, we arrive only an hour to an hour and a half before
Oh, I see. Okay.
event starts. And usually the wedding coordinator or somebody is setting up the tower or the wall.
Okay, this is something I have to take up with the coordinators then.
Yeah, but it's hard because especially like I did one in spring and it was a 300-person event and they wanted like little shots for everybody. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, well, I hate to drink a hot tequila shot. Like that's disgusting to walk right into, that's not a warm welcome. But I was like, it'll be hot no matter what. It was an outdoor event. And I was like, this is not super practical, super cute. But what I would say is,
I always love to touch on that because like
I didn't think about that.
we're like like the insider, we back of it, and a lot of the things that are like popping off and looking really cute on social media are just not practical at all.
I guess that is it's not practical and an enjoyable experience. I would say, like I can get it done for you,
and it looks really cute on photos.
But is that really what you want the whole time?
Exactly.
Hot tequila shots or flat champagne? Or,
yep, exactly. Coach everybody who like tells me, oh, I feel a little nervous of coming on, I don't want to, and I was like, dude, like no one knows more about your service and your business than you do. I think, like that's all we're talking about.
I think it's crazy because I really was a little leery to get into Instagram and things like that for a while. Like my Instagram is not that in depth. I haven't really posted much consistently because I couldn't really handle the infrastructure of some of the work I was already had. So I was like, please, no more clients, And so now this year, now that I have such a great team, like my team this year has just been.
Yeah. And you're able to like really provide that, information. And like Instagram, it's still like the most affordable way to market.
And it's all like, I literally was just looking at my operating system and where everything comes from, and 70% of all bookings have been through Instagram,
Us too. And it's like, why not, right? Why not invest a little more time? And I know it's like it's more competitive now, as it should be. That's fine. But the thing is, like, if you're not giving your base of like viewers information that's really useful for them, like, yeah, why should anyone watch you?
I know. And I'm so in my head of like polishing, like make sure that every post and every video or every reel I have is just primed and proper and like exactly what I want. I'm too much of a perfectionist when it comes to it, and I'm trying to like ease off into it, but I want that look on the page, And
and just showing up.
It's showing up, and it's for me outsourcing that, having someone to create the content and manage it and stuff for me has been amazing. I love, my content creator girl,
that's amazing. It's really good to be able to like find that. I still love being able to have like, there's a lot of things I've outsourced, but like social media is one thing that I still kind of want to retain until we might have like some form of like maybe a campaign or some sort that's already done and ready to go. And then I'm like, okay, well then you just post. But showing up even on stories, alive, whatever shows
that. I think that's what my goal is to start doing, is I need to be a little bit more personable on the Instagram page. But I think it scarred me because when I was doing all my market research to start Black Label, it was like their personal Instagram, and then like they sprinkled in their business here and there. And I was like, that I didn't sit well with me. I was like, okay, so I need a clean cut business. Like, this is what we do, this is where we are, all of my pictures and everything in there is for the business, but I think maybe on stories I should pop out and say like,
that'd be fun.
Hey guys.
At the same time, your personality sells.
I think
that's what people do.
When I did my website this year, my whole website, when you look at it, it's like me on everything, you know what I mean? And everyone was like, why is it all you? And I was like, it's my hello, I am the brand,
I am. I am Black Label.
I am Black Label, and I like myself. So.
I love.
Okay, so there's two different versions of the story that are kind of there, It's an homage to my grandfather that drank Johnny Walker Black Label,
Okay.
like branded whiskey.
Mhm.
And that's like what he drank my whole childhood. But everything when I looked on it was such bartending or, Jane's bartending, or something like that. I wanted to create more of a high end, elegant kind of experience, exclusivity, VIP, like kind of vibe and feel with the name. And I feel like that was, I don't know. I was my friend was getting married and I was driving down. I was in her wedding party. And of course I was the only guy that I didn't need to be in hair and makeup for 27 hours, So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went down and her venue was 30 minutes from the nearest Starbucks. And I went with one of the other bridesmaids and she was like, you should create this. And so the name like just
Like
clicked
right?
I vividly remember sitting in the car driving and it's like, she was like, well, what would you call it? And I was like, I don't, Black Label. Like it literally was that quick and it was done. And then as soon as I came home from the wedding, I spent 10 minutes on Canva and
And you ran with it.
I ran with it.
Well, it's better than going Corona photography. Like,
Well,
it was like
no.
kind of those things. I was like, oh, I'll go back to it. I'll go back to it. I swear, I am not happy about it, but it just kind of grew
But
faster than I could like go back and be like, I have to have like an intentional studio like, and it's like, okay, fine, we'll just keep it.
well, your
We're
name
gonna
is
stick-
pretty. Like my name is hard to pronounce and spelled weird. So, like I was like, everyone's gonna butcher this. So I was like, that can't be in there,
No, but
So
branding is huge.
Yeah.
Branding is huge, and that's the reason why we had so much fun creating Hello Enamorada because it came
Yes.
from a place of like intentional like branding.
And I just like that it was
Mhm.
different from me in a way. As much
Mhm.
as the brand is me and I am brand, but it was able to
It was an
create
extension of.
extension of, it
Yeah.
was something that was different than I could do. And I really wanted like the logo to be really eye catching and kind of like recognizable. And I
Mhm.
love the way the BB looked, like
Yeah.
when I was playing with like the wording and the logo. And so I was like, it worked.
Awesome. And what's been one of the biggest challenges for you in the past year that you've been working on in your business and yourself? You could.
I would say in the past, it was finding people that could be me in the way. I am so big on customer service, client satisfaction. It was driven into me from, the early start in my restaurant career. So finding a team that was an extension of me that I feel comfortable sending out and representing me and my brand was challenging for the first 2 years. This year, it's it saved me more than anything else. My girls are, and a few guys are on the team are. I feel so comfortable just sending them out and being like, "This is me." Like, like some clients are like, "Oh, like you're not going to be there." I can't be everywhere all at once,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And so, but I was like, I'm sending you the best. Like these people have trained with me. Some of them have even trained me. I want my bar manager, Lindsay, who has been with me since day one. She trained me at one of the restaurants. And so when I was starting it, she was like, "Oh my gosh, how fun!" And so I was like, would you want to come and bartend? Like someone that has trained me to be me, like I can imagine a better person than to then go be me,
Yeah.
like I am, a
And
little
you
bit.
want to take care of those people like they're gold,
Yeah.
because I mean we see and we've through growing our Hello Namada too can see,
Mhm.
there's very limited amount of people who really show up to
Yeah.
give you the best.
And there's so many people on my team that they want the best. They
Absolutely.
give the best. They want your day to be about you and to be about your customer experience because at the end of the day, like it's kind of like a business, your
Yeah,
wedding day is kind
yeah.
of it's a business, like you want your guests to
Yeah.
feel like, everyone focused on the bride and the groom, obviously as they should, but we're there from start to finish and we're interacting with all of your guests the whole time, and I want them
Yeah.
to I don't want them to be in your ear the next day like, oh, this bartender was awful or the attitude sucked or they were unprofessional or whatever. That would kill me.
Yeah.
If anyone said that to me, it
Yeah.
would.
And they not only interact with a couple, but they also interact with like other vendors, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
and having that like really good relationship. It's always said that what is it? The dream team makes
The dream-
what is it? The work, the hard work. What is it, babe?
No. I was like, so I know I get the dream team thing,
Ah, the dream team. What is it? The makes the dream work. Oh my god! Yes.
You're drinking while you
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah. But it's like the vendor, I mean, people come to the bartenders for 1,000 questions because we're one of the only vendors that are pretty stationary, like we don't move around.
Yeah.
Photographers, coordinators, officiants, they all move around. The DJ, or not the DJs, the bartender
Mm-hmm.
is stationed the whole time. So people are constantly coming up to us asking where things are, or where's this person, or, you know, we're easy to find, you know?
Yes,
So
you're the service desk.
I'm the concierge. I'm always like, I'm the concierge. I always like, one of my questions most of the venues in town locally, I've
Mm-hmm.
been thankful enough to already work at, so I already know the gist and how they run. But for new venues, I'm always like, okay, we need to do a walkthrough beforehand, and I take, you know, a team member or two, and I'm like, okay, like, where's the bathroom? Where's this? How is this going to be set up? What's the floor plan look like? You know, like, I think for clients, and, you know, when they're looking for bartenders, you need to include them, I would say, in a lot of their pre-planning meetings,
So it's
because
not just about like handing out drinks at
no,
all,
no,
right?
no. I guess that is, I guess going back to the
Mm-hmm.
misconception, that is like the biggest misconception, is that we're just there to bartend, you know, and like, they're like, oh, I was going to have like my friend or my uncle, you know, be the bartender to open a few beers and
Never
stuff. And I
do
was like,
that.
oh my
Don't do
gosh.
that. Please don't do that.
We call them frienders, and please
Whew.
do not have a friender
I've seen that
be there.
happen, and it is no.
It's a mess, you know, and like, bartenders are known for, you know, drinking on the job, you know, I would
Mm-hmm.
say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I tell my girls. I'm like, no one is allowed to drink on the job ever. Like, you are there to be 100% yourself at all times. Like, for the 6 to 8 hours that you're there, I need you at 110%, you know?
Love it.
Sometimes the bride and groom will be like, can we do a shot? And I'll be like, okay, one shot. Everyone has a salivatory.
Fine,
Towards
I'll
the end of
have a
the
shot.
yeah.
I know that's
Towards
the way it
the
is with
end.
my like Mexican couples. They love to give us shots.
They love to give shots, and I can't do as many shots as they are doing on their day. You know, like, someone has to clean up and organize, and, you know, tell you where some things go and load things in your cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say the biggest misconception, I guess, is we're not just there to hand out drinks. We're there to be part of your experience. I would say we're, you know, part of the big
Mhm.
four,
Mhm.
and, you know, include us as much as we can be. You know, I love working with some of my wedding coordinators that I've grown amazing relationships with, because as soon as they know that I'm booked or whatever, or if I know that they're using that wedding coordinator, I'll reach out and be like, hey, like, I'm booked for X and X wedding, like, you know, and CC me on whatever I need to know, you know, floor plan. Design also is a huge thing that I love to be you know, included on, is so that way I know, like, kind of your color scheme and what your style is. You know, are we doing, you know, white and black traditional? Are we doing fun colors? You know, like, so that way I can maybe kind of make the drinks geared towards your color palette, so everything is just like big and cohesive and beautiful.
I love that. I love that attitude. When it comes to working with other vendors, I know we kind of tend to like focus our attention on our skill set.
Yes.
You know, and then we kind of sometimes forget the other moving parts of the event.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like bartending and like what are some things that you wish other vendors kind of knew when it came to working with you that may be overlooked?
I would say your bartenders are there the longest, I would say, on average, of your vendors, you know? So tend to be mindful of, you know, like, we've been out here, it's all day, you know, like, there's certain venues that take 2 hours to set up just because nothing is nearby, you know? So I would say just kind of go easy on the bartenders, maybe, you know, and just say, like, you know, like, do you need anything? Can I, you know, get you something, you know, like a water or something, you know, because half the time we can't, you know, take a break or whatever. It's really, really hard. That's why I tell all my clients, all of my packages include one bartender, but I usually tell clients for weddings, like, please really, really, really consider having a second bartender to help alleviate the stress of your first bartender, you know, so they could break and eat and go to the bathroom and, you know, things like that. So
Sweet.
but
And then before we wrap up, are there any projects that you're excited about for Black Label? Anything you're looking forward to?
yeah, I just launched yesterday my cocktail series. It's called Crash Out Over or no, sorry. It's called Cocktails Over Crash Out.
Cocktails over Crash Out.
Yeah, which is
That's
like
a tongue twister.
it is a
Cocktails
tongue
over Crash Out.
twister. I had to film it a few times
That's
because I kept
good.
calling it something different every time. But I just launched that, and I'm super excited for that series. My goal is to post once a week on Sundays. And I want to bring in some of the girls and have them make some of their drinks, or maybe have a few of my favorite clients come on and, you know,
and have a little
have them make their
fun.
drinks and stuff like that. Because it's, as a mobile bartender, it's hard to get content, especially to grow your brand and grow your Instagram, is what I found. So I'm hoping this kind of gives me more of a personal edge and kind of, interacts with the clients just a teensy bit more. So
I love it.
we'll share stories and do some stuff like that. But I'm really, really excited for that.
Yeah, because you said you were a yapper.
I'm a yapper. I'm a certified yapper.
I love it.
Yeah.
Aiden, thank you so much for
Aw.
coming on. Thanks for hanging out with us. It was a sweet time, and the time went by so quickly.
It was so quick. I can't believe we're already
right.
done.
We're like, let's keep yapping. No?
Yeah, we could do this all day. I could do this for a while. So thanks for having
Fine,
me.
take over my job.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yes, that was
thank
so
you.
great. I love it.
That was fun.
Hey, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm going to leave you guys with Aidan's fun challenge. Hope you enjoy. See you the next time. Whisper in my ear, whisper in my ear. Can you hear me?
I
What?
can't hear you. I was like, I can see that she's talking to me.
Okay, so we're good. Yes? So this game is a whisper challenge. I'm going to be...
I was like, wait. Okay.
this is working. I'm going to be whispering some words out or some short sentences to Aidan, and he is, figuring out. Sometimes the music is so loud at like weddings, bartenders need to be able to read lips. So we'll see. Here we go. Love wins here. Love wins.
Wins. Oh, shake. Wait. Love shake? No.
Wins.
Like, can I just hear you?
Wins.
Oh.
You had it.
Wait, I did? Oh.
You can't take it.
I was like, wait.
Cheater. Okay, so.
Okay. Love.
Wins.
Wins. Shake. So, celebrate. Joy.
Wins.
Win.
Wins.
With.
Here. Wins here.
With here.
Wins here.
I
Love
was like-
wins here.
Oh, love wins. Love wins?
Here.
No.
Here.
Yes.
Yes.
Down.
Yes.
More.
Yes. Yes. Love wins. Yeah.
Love wins? Okay. I was
Here.
like-
Yeah. Tie the knot. Tie.
Sing. Tie the boat. Tie the knot. Tie the knot. Okay.
Yay, good job. Okay.
Okay, now I got it.
Kiss the bride.
Something with the bride. So,
Kiss.
singing with the bride.
Kiss.
Dancing with the bride. No, I'm so far off. I'm not even listening. I'm not even trying to look at your mouth anymore. Oh, kiss the bride.
Yes.
Kiss it. Duh.
Cheers to us.
That's a little long.
Cheers
Cheers
to
to the bride and groom. Oh. I was trying to do
literally us.
Cheers to us.
Yeah.
Cheers to us.
Bravo.
I was close.
I love it. Love it. My turn.
Okay. I feel bad because mine are kind of long.
Oh my gosh.
Are you ready?
She's ready.
Just go whenever. Okay. Can you bride a drink?
Something to drink?
Yes. Can you get the bride a
That's
drink?
normal. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Get the bride the drink.
Yeah, a drink. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. She looked so stunning today. She looked so stunning.
It's all the
today.
Botox. I can't read your lips. Aiden.
She looked so stunning today.
Say word by word.
Take the
She looked.
drink the
She looked.
cheat the
She looked so.
cheat the damn it.
She.
Clean Jean
She.
Sheen
Sheen.
She
No.
she loves
looked.
lost she
Looked.
lost